All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Riffin with Riffin, yeah. And I'm so happy to have this guest on. Give it up for the very funny and talented Ramy Youssef.
Oh, man. This is amazing.
You don't know about the singing mic, though. Whoa, 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 wow.
Oh, my God.
We're riffing with Riffin. I always offer the singing mic to the guests. You want to get on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, give me my goddamn singing mic.
What? It's a smooth oh, yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
That's a nice oh, yeah. That's in every song.
Mm-hmm. It's Ramy Youssef. All right.
I thought that was a good oh, yeah. I mean, I've never,
Some people are excited about it. Some people can actually sing, so they grab it and they're like, "Oh shit, this is my time." Because when you hear effects on a mic, for some reason you think like, "Oh, this is it. Are we in the studio? I got headphones. Turn me up in the headphones." So, but we'll go to it occasionally. But dude, thanks for coming in.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I miss you, man.
I know. I haven't seen because you're so damn busy. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's this whole New York, LA distance.
Yes, I know. But you've been working and doing some really good things, and I'm glad. I'm glad I got you on here now because you're big, but I feel like you're about to blow up.
Oh man, dude, not as much as Kawhi's about to, but
I know. We're gonna get to that. So, guys, as of when we recorded this, we're recording this on a Saturday, right? Is this today Saturday?
Saturday.
Yeah. Last night, Kawhi Leonard signed with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Dude, congrats to you, man.
I know because I'm a real fan.
You've been sticking with the Clippers. So I am admittedly, I'm a bandwagon fan. So the whole summer, I watch every NBA game. I have League Pass. I'm on everyone's Twitter. I watch all the trade stuff.
Right.
It's really just so I know who to root for.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like I'm invested the way that you are. I'm kind of like, which storyline's exciting? Because I don't feel bad for millionaires. I'm a textbook bandwagon fan. I just own it.
Well, the bandwagon's full.
Dude,
just so you know.
Well, I was about to jump on, and then Boogie went over to LA, and I was like, I think I'm sticking with LeBron.
It's hard though, because I'm a huge LeBron James fan too.
I love LeBron.
I love LeBron James too. I love everything about him. I love what he does. I love his rise. I love like how he makes every place a winner. I love how people hate him and how he comes back from that. So I don't know, but my Clippers, if we could get if Toronto could get a championship, I mean, don't let the Clippers win a championship because it's gonna be on.
I mean. But that Patrick Beverly and Kawhi and Paul George, that is like an insane defensive monster.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like, who's going to get through that?
And plus, I just saw this stat. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were in the top 5 of efficiency for players in the NBA last year. Like when they have the ball in their hand.
Dude.
So it's like, come on.
It's going to be
But it's going to be terrible for comedy in LA, though. I will say that.
Why do you think everyone's going to be at the games?
Oh, dude, or watching the games. Like
I know.
When the Lakers were good.
I know.
Like during right before the playoffs, whatever show was going on in LA, it's just ruined.
I've never experienced that because the year I moved to LA, the Lakers sucked.
Yeah.
It was because I moved in 2012. It was like right when I got here. Like 2011, they were still making it. 2012, they were like it was falling apart at the seams. So I've never been here with a good LA team.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You go to the comedy store and it's like it's empty. And, you're like, what's going on? Well, it's Laker. And now with the playoffs, it's going to be like,
dude,
Clippers, Lakers. So now we got 82 games. In LA.
It's unreal. 82 games worth seeing.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Even though I'm not a fan, even though I'm excited, I'm not a fan of the movement.
You want people to stay where they're at?
Yeah, I want it to be like, they're compensated greatly to live in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Yeah. This isn't 1972, where they only making a little bit of money and then if I'm giving you $30 million, motherfucker, you live wherever the fuck I say you live.
Also, you can get a green tea latte anywhere. I mean, that's the truth.
And you flying in the offseason anyway. All these NBA players from every team in the league live in LA.
I know.
So it's like I don't think that, to me personally, like, so LeBron James started the whole thing. It's like let's take power. But he's not qualified to run a $14 billion business. because that's what the NBA is.
Yeah, but a lot of these GMs are ruthless too, though. I mean, like, did you see Presti was going to trade Westbrook to Toronto? He was just ready to do it.
Oh, he was?
Oh, he was. He was ready to throw him in. I mean, then that's the guy that's like, I'm Toronto. I stayed when KD left. They like start bullying him around.
Right,
yeah, I mean, I'm OKC. Yeah, I stayed.
Oh, so they're going to trade him to Toronto.
They were going to send him to Toronto. They were trying to
convince
to do
Kawhi
was
to
keep
come.
Kawhi there. Yeah, so they were going to trade Paul George and Westbrook over to Toronto. They were trying to get all Toronto's picks through 2029. Plus Siakam.
I thought it was going to make more sense for them to be like, hey, why don't we, since you want Paul George, why don't we send him to Toronto?
That's what they were trying to do, but they were going to throw in Westbrook, and then they were going to get Siakam and like all their picks for 10 years.
Oh
or
wow!
Like
well, they got it. They got a heist from the Clippers, though.
I know it's an even better deal than the Anthony Davis deal.
Yeah,
those picks are nuts.
Well, but they got those picks because they traded Tobias Harris to the Sixers,
Yep.
who got their picks from all the shit that they had done over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I know it's exciting right now, but see, this is what we've excuse me, this is what we missed out on. Okay, so when LeBron was in Miami and then they beat San Antonio, by the way, because the Kawhi Leonard missed a free throw, like his free throw miss is why they lost that championship, because they were up 3. If he would have won, they would have been up 4. They would have won the championship. Then Ray Allen comes down and hits that 3, ties it up. They win the next game. But anyway, all right, so they go, we're going to run this back. And then they come back and they beat Miami. That was great. That's gone now.
Yeah, no one runs it back.
No,
Yeah.
So Golden State beats OKC. I'm like, this is going to be the rivalry of the ages. Yeah. And this motherfucker goes to.
I will say though, all these guys now just signed some big deals. I think you're going to have the next 3-4 years. No one can go anywhere. You know what I mean? AD technically could. I think he'll re-sign with LA. But you could, like, everyone can kind of do, like, everyone's going to be in their spot. And I mean, Westbrook's going to get traded. He's on a big contract, though. They were talking about sending him to Miami, which would be insane. Oh, wow. You put Miami.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh, my God.
They might murder each other. Yeah. I would send a reality.
But that might be the thing. That might be the, you know what I'm saying? That might be the thing that, like, wow, fuck, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
I would love that. That would make the East great. Miami would instantly vault into at least the top 5, right?
I know, because once KD comes back, the East will have some ballers.
If he's no player in the history of the NBA, except for one player, Dominique Wilkins, and even he wasn't 100%, has come back from Achilles tear to be like the player that they were.
The thing, too, with Wilkins was when he tore his Achilles, he was 23.
That's what I'm saying.
23.
This dude's 30.
He's 30 or 31.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
But he's not an explosive player anyway.
He's a shooter.
So he might just end up being like one of those, like, set shot Bill, just.
He might be on some like Dirk shit. Where
it's exactly. So he'd probably still be obviously better than most of the players in the league. But I don't know. I don't like the movement. I want to see, like, build. Like, I hope Milwaukee keeps the Greek freak. I hope that, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, they're already plotting Masai taking him over to Toronto. Everyone's like, that's why Masai didn't trade Siakam, because he's gonna have prime Siakam and he's gonna get Giannis to come over. I mean, it's
I don't know. I guess it's fun to talk about like this because it's like fantasy basketball all of a sudden.
That's why I'm a bandwagon fan. That's why I'm a bandwagon fan, because I'm like, I don't feel bad for any of these millionaires losing or moving or whatever. I'm in.
Well, I started like in the Clippers back. I used to work at a grammar school, this Catholic school, and one of the kids, one of my favorite players. I was a coach, and he, like, his mom worked at the not the Staples Center, it was the sports arena at the time. His mom worked at the sports arena, and then it was like, he goes, "Hey, coach, do you want to go to a game?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Yeah, I can get tickets to the game." So I get to the game, we got these great seats, and I look at him, I go, "You just telling me this now?" It was a playoff game too. I was like, "You mean the whole season we couldn't be going to the game?" So mad, because I was young at the time. I was like 20 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Say, what the hell are we doing not coming to these games? But then I just became a fan. I used to go to the Clipper games all the time.
You grew up in LA.
Yeah, I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
Because where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, you grew up in New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to I wanted to go to the games because I was a fan of the Supersonics.
Yeah, dude.
So I wanted to go see Gary Payton and Sean Kemp.
Yeah.
But then after a while, though, you at the fourth quarter, you got to support the home team.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And then you just like, I'm supporting the home team, and then I'm like, okay, I became a Clipper fan.
Dude,
were you a Nets fan, Knicks fan? What's your deal?
I was a Nets fan growing up. That's what it was, like the great team. It was Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, they had Kerry Kills, they had Batumbo.
Oh, they went to the finals twice.
That was like they were crewing. I was really into them, but I was also really into the Sixers. I loved Allen Iverson because he made me feel like I could play. Because everyone's like, "Oh, AI is short," and so I think he was kind of like the short kid's dream.
That's what
player.
Stephen Curry's doing for kids right now.
I mean, well, how tall is Steph though? He's 6'1".
Wait, they in comparison to the rest of
the rest of them, I know. Well, that's what I had a teacher who was like. I remember telling my teacher in 8th grade, I was like, "I'm gonna play in the NBA," and he was like, "You're not tall enough." And I was like, "What are you talking about, Allen Iverson?" And he's like, "How tall is AI?" And I'm like, "He's 6 feet." And he's like, "Yeah, that's short for the NBA.
Yeah,
that's not short in real life. You're short in this class. You're not gonna play."
I went to a high school where it was a small high school where I was one of the tallest people in the school.
Yeah,
at 6'3".
Oh man, yeah. So you must have thought you were going.
Oh
pro.
My god, dude! Until I went to big man camp. Okay, I remember I went to big man camp and I was like, "What the fuck?" Everybody was like, "Little man." Little man, bring the ball up. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm a center too at my school.
Dude, it's like Bronny James. Have you seen LeBron's son? I'm like watching highlights of this like 14-year-old, and I'm like, this kid's gonna be unreal.
That's the new world, though.
He's 6. He's 6.
He's 6.
He's like, is he 5'11"?
No. He's getting up there.
He's getting up there.
Yeah. He has his growth spurt. Because they were like in high school now.
I think he went into high school like just as he started going into high school. He's like teetering around 6.
Yeah,
he's like somewhere around 6 feet. It's insane.
I know, but he's gonna
shoot up, dude.
Yeah. Isn't it? But if you think about it, he's got like all the best nutrition, all the best like trainers. It's
almost like they'll make him tall.
Yeah, they're gonna make.
He's got like guys.
He was like created
every day.
Yeah, he was created in a fucking factory or something like that. Him, even Dwayne Wade's kid.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah, and Shaq's kid, I think, is really good too.
Dude,
he had like a heart thing or something, but I think he's all right. He had something.
Oh shit! Well,
he had like a thing, and he had to like sit out for a year, but like he's great. He's like,
I love watching those. Like, there's like YouTube channel that is all about that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like they show like I'm like watching like highlights of high school games, and it's like LeBron James is on the sideline and Rip Hamilton's on the sideline, and their kids are like going at each other. I mean, that's such a fascinating time to live in.
It also like feels weirder the older I get, because it used to be like I looked up to these players, and then now I'm like cursing at someone who's 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm literally I'm like watching TV, and I'm like, oh, this guy's 5 years younger than me. Yeah, how much?
What are you talking about, man? The guys that you know how I know like everybody that's my age that played the NBA, they've all retired. I think I'm the same age as Shaq. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck, my days are done. It's like, maybe there was a time I thought.
You look at them like, oh, these old retired guys, and you're like a year older than
I know. and now I'm the guy going like, you don't know how it was back in the day when it was Jordan and blah blah blah. These kids are like, Jordan wasn't good.
I don't know if you've talked about this on here, but have you saw Jordan play and you saw LeBron? And LeBron. I mean, who do you have?
I think that there's an argument that you can make that LeBron is the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with that argument. That's the sign of how great he is.
Yeah.
But just like Max Kellerman on ESPN says all the time, the advanced metrics, they can measure all these things.
Yeah.
Jordan was better. You know what I mean? At his height, of his like dominance, and just like the eye test too. The guy was just fantastic. And there's just like a lot of things people don't know about Jordan. Like, there was that stretch where their point guard was injured, and he played like 10 or 15 games where he was the point guard, and he averaged a triple double.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Kobe used to say that all the time. Where they're like, "What would have happened if you were a point guard?" And he would have been like, "Well, I just would have been the best point guard." It's like the funniest. He's like, "I guess I just would have to been the best at that."
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a Michael Jordan fan because I just look at all the things. He won 6 championships. He beat every Eastern Conference team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
At least once. He beat 4 different Western Conference teams in the championship. He beat like a bunch of top 50 players of all time. He stopped them from getting championships. He was explosive and exciting. But there's an argument for LeBron James. He's 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tough because it's like Jordan, there is the eye test thing, because you look at Jordan and you watch him in the game and you're like, oh, this guy could kill whoever he could murder them, like literally murder them after the game. There's like this different tenacity.
Yeah.
And you watch LeBron and you're kind of like, oh, he didn't do anything this game, and then you check the box score and he had a triple double, like easily, and it's so weird.
But the thing about that is, I think it's just because he was you know, because LeBron's so much better than everybody, and it looks so effortless for him that he's a victim of that. So people are like, oh, he's not as good because he don't got to work as hard as everybody else, but he actually does.
Yeah.
I always remember that. I think his game where he changed his whole mentality was they were down 3-2 to Boston in Miami. And before the game, he had that eye of the tiger look in his eye. I was looking at the screen. I was looking at the game. I was like, "Ooh, LeBron about to go off today." Yeah, he had that look, and he had like 47 or whatever it is, and they went on to beat them. So it was just like, I don't know. Like I said, if you were somebody that came to me and been like, "I think LeBron's better," he's gonna have better numbers. He's gonna have better stats and all that. He won't have as many championships. But look at the error. I mean, I don't know if
whole different thing. Yeah,
I think he's already accomplished things that you can go like, "Well, that's the greatest player ever."
Sure,
you know what I mean. So that's how I feel about that. But I am excited about the season. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with the Clippers. I mean, we're all excited. If he took Toronto to the championship, we're feeling like, but look, okay, Denver's still good. Dallas is going to be good. Porzingis is going to be healthy with Luka Doncic, whatever the hell his name is. They're going to be good. Minnesota's still an up and coming team. They got those young players. They just don't have it in their head. But you got the Clippers, the Houston. So I think the team that's going to go away is going to be Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they're going to fall out. They're going to trade Westbrook.
But then New Orleans is going to hit that spot.
Dude, New Orleans is exciting. I mean, I'm excited. Right? I watched Summer League yesterday.
He's just fat though.
Zion. I was watching a little bit of that Summer League yesterday. It was first. I mean, the earthquake was nuts in the middle of that game. I've never seen it. I mean,
dude, I was in a movie. I was watching Spider-Man.
Oh no way!
Yeah, dude. I was watching Spider-Man, and the shit started. My friend I was with, he was like, bro, I think it's an earthquake, and it was like this, you know. And I was like, oh shit. Then it just kept going, and then everybody's panicking, and I was like, oh, this is the dangerous part.
Yeah.
Like not even this speaker falling on my head or whatever. It's how everybody was responding.
Freaking out.
So I was like, telling my friend, we got to sit tight for a second.
Yeah.
It stopped. You know, people, you know, I want to.
Movie keep going?
Yeah, the movie kept going. And then I was like, I guess we're watching the movie, right?
You're like, I want to see what happened to Spider-Man. I'm not trying to do that.
Let's finish watching this. It was such a weird movie, too. It's such a weird tone. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let's just finish this. I kind of want to see what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? But yeah, where were you at the quake?
I was with a bunch of friends. We were all together in an apartment, and it was kind of just like, what are we gonna do? You know, and so we were strategizing just where to, because it was long enough that it was kind of like, hey, you get there, I started playing quarterback because people were like frozen. I was like, can you get up, go over the thing, move over, get in that corner, like kind of, you know, grab a pillow, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
But if you can do that, it's not that serious.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it starts slow, no? And then it gets crazy. Dude, I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
You're 28, so that means you were like in 94, that 94
Northridge
quake. You weren't even here.
I wasn't even here, but
you were like 3 years old or whatever it is like that.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Right away. Instantly.
I remember I was in my apartment, butt-ass naked. Okay, in like Koreatown, I had this little apartment in Koreatown. My place was a mess. I'm a bachelor, dude. Look at this shit. I'm still a mess. You know what I mean? And by the way, I want to thank everyone for the art and stuff. Look, I put it up, guys. You know, this guy sent me this thing. It lights up. I just didn't turn it on. I got these great candles, beautiful cards. I'm gonna get some shelves. But anyways, so my place is messy, and that shit was like, go. It was like
immediately.
Oh, you know, and then it was like you knew you had to get the fuck out of the building. Okay.
So are you supposed to leave the building?
Listen, man, if you live on like the 8th floor, whatever it is like that, like your instincts are like, is this shit gonna fall over? Like, I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? So then it was like, but I didn't panic though, because I was like, get your pants. You know, I was like, find your pants. I didn't know where my flashlight was.
Yeah.
So I do suggest to everybody that lives in California that
get that shit.
Just know where your flashlight is or some candles or something, because that's the first thing that goes. The power was out. You know, but what I'm saying is like it was a rattling, like, you know, like what you in your mind, what you think an earthquake is going to be, that was the worst earthquake I've ever felt.
Wow.
And I think that the government lied to us, you know, conspiracy theory time. I got to go to the singing mic. Conspiracy theory on Riffin. Anyway, because I think there's some kind of state law that if we have an above like a 8-point something earthquake, I don't know if this is true. Do some facts researching for me, fans. But I think there's something where we don't pay taxes that year.
No way.
Like we don't pay like state tax or something to help out with like.
Interesting.
There's something, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they said that quake that in '94 was a 6.9. They just said that this one over on what you call it?
It was a 7.1.
Was a 7.1. No fucking way that Northridge quake was a 6 anything.
Yeah, they said it was a 7.1 yesterday.
Yeah, that shit was like. But anyways, if you can do all that stuff where you're like, okay, you over there, you. I mean, it's not that serious.
Okay. See, I didn't know anything. I was just, and none of us knew. We're all like not from here, so we're all like, all right, what are we gonna do?
Okay, that's your first time.
What's going on? I mean, I feel like in the last 7 years, there's been little ones.
Yeah,
you feel like a little,
little
buzz. It's kind of cute. It's kind of that's.
But
fun.
It makes you go like that. Ooh.
Yeah, it goes. Ooh, it's like a really weak reason to text an ex and be like, hey, you good? But it's like, she's fine. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like that.
It's like a bonus Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Christmas is when you go, hey, what's up? I was thinking, Merry Christmas. Hope you're well. You just check on this girl.
That's a little Christmas from God,
Damn it, I forgot to text people yesterday. Bonus.
Come on, man.
I should have texted my ex yesterday. Shit.
You can still text her now.
I know. Be like,
you could say
what?
You could say you got caught up in some shit.
Yeah, I was
stuck. I just got out.
Yeah, but now I'm putting it on blast like this.
Yeah.
But this is a good segue into, because you were directing your friends, this is a good segue into, listen, man, your show is fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, for real. It is so good. It's so like you're like the perfect, like if I had to like you're a great example of what woke should be.
That's really interesting.
Like your generation is like, everybody thinks I'm so woke. To me, woke is for people that don't have the words to articulate their position. So they say, I'm woke.
Right.
But you can say woke for, hey, why are you pro-life?
Yeah.
I'm woke.
Yeah.
Why are you pro-choice? I'm woke. And everybody's woke. But then when you follow it up with the things, and I just think like the perspective of being like a millennial Muslim is fantastic.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
So what's your, like, how did you come about it? Like what was the, did you always want to make a show like that?
I always wanted to make something. Like I remember like moving to LA and feeling this, I booked this show. I moved to LA because I was doing like this like Nick at Night sitcom.
Oh, God.
And so
I'm so sorry.
It was really fun. I mean, it was really fun. I had a good time doing it. And then I remember, but I remember doing it and kind of be like, okay, this is just an acting job. Like, what do I really want to do?
Yeah.
And I had felt like I want to see some stories, whether it be a movie, whether it be a show that had someone who felt like me, or who kind of like, everything's always really polarizing, right? It's like, fuck God and fuck religion and all this stuff, or the opposite of it. It's like super clean and it's like super, and then if we touch religion, it's like the priest who does coke, or it's like this like angels in heaven, like really blown out thing. And so I knew I wanted to make something that felt more like the guilt and the way that I feel about things, and kind of having it rattling around, and how does someone try to be good, which sounds really simple, it sounds really basic, but I was like, yeah, that's kind of the thing I want to do. Like, how do you you're trying to navigate being a good person. And I didn't know though if it would be like a show or a movie or whatever. Yeah.
So when you say like, I like how you say that, when you're trying to navigate to be good within the parameters of like these expectations of your family and religion and culture.
Yeah, and also like your expectations on yourself. I mean, like so much of it too was like personal responsibility and personal introspection, and kind of like how can you question what it is that you believe and then what you actually do, because that was another thing. I really wanted to make something that was like, oh no, this person actually believes in being Muslim. It's not like forced on him by his parents, because that's how I never felt like my parents were forcing it. They taught me it, but I really felt a connection to it, but also you're drawn by your desires and your ego, and that clearly conflict this thing that you believe
that's
in.
Great you're saying this, because this is in my mind right now. One of the great images of the show for me, because like, yes, your character, I could tell he's excited about being Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's fucking this white girl and checking the condom to make sure there's no holes in it. I mean, that's just a great image. Like is like what kind of Muslim is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I loved that. That's the kind of stuff that went through the whole show.
Yeah.
And then I loved it's like another great moment is like you're like trying to say, all right, I don't want to go too far. You're going places, but then you meet someone that wants to go way far, because the girls in the car like, choke me. And you're just like, now I'm Muslim. You know what I mean?
that switch.
Yeah, so that was the conflict throughout the show, right? Is that what you wanted to? Because you really expressed that. You really expressed it well. If that's what you were going for, you did it.
That's what I was going. Yeah, is that like my friend Alia Moro has this book and about being she lives in London and she has this book about being someone in a similar situation and she called it the art of mastering schizophrenia, where she's like, you want to be both things and you're kind of like moving around and you're trying to figure out, what do I do? What part of me is going to come out? And I think we all feel that on some level. It's not unique to being Muslim, but I wanted to put it through that lens and I wanted to, show that family because that's what I know. Right. And so that was.
Now, follow-up question to that then is, it's funny how like we accept things. So do you find yourself, even as yourself, going like, okay, so we're Muslim and I have to accept all these things of being Muslim, but then you're living this millennial life. Is there any part of you that questions either or?
Yeah, you question both. I mean, that's kind of like it sits in, there's stuff that you question in the way that you were raised with religion and you question, wait, was that the culture or was that the actual faith? And it's constantly this like back and forth, like what about the faith do I actually know? So even for me, it's like, okay, cool. So there's, how do I read the Quran? It's like, oh, I'm reading an English translation. That's not the way you're supposed to read it. And so I've gone down rabbit holes of like seeing teachers and people who actually know how to read this thing, that it's because it's kind of like a tool. I would say the same thing with the Bible, same thing with the Torah. I mean, these are books that like need context. You need to understand because you can't take them word for word, right? And that's not to say that they're not that there aren't accurate things in there, but it needs a perspective. Like you need to kind of understand what's going on with it, and you need to. It's a powerful tool. It's almost like getting anything, and like you need some training. You need to understand how do you get what's in this and how do you get the truth out of it. And so I've gone down rabbit holes there, and then I've also gone down rabbit holes of like moments where I've like been like, you know what, let me just be in the moment and let me just like kind of like do what I'm doing, and then I'm like, this is the moment, like is this is an insane moment. This moment sucks. There's just I remember one time going out and you're trying to like hang out whatever, and I remember. Have you ever go out clubbing with Tehran?
Ugh.
I mean.
I was just in Saudi with him, We'll get to that.
I mean, Tehran, I love that guy.
Me too.
He's amazing. I love
But
Tehran.
he is who he is.
He is who he is, but the places he'll take you, you're kind of like, man, I need to find God quick. Because then you're looking around and you're like, this is insanity.
Yeah. No, but I see, when I watch your show and I hear you, I realize that you really made a lot of yourself in this character.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, because I noticed about the show is this guy, he really is questioning and trying to find like what, how can I be a better Muslim, or finding more about it, you know what I mean? And trying to live that thing. And I mean that's such a hard thing to like balance, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and so much of it too is just like trying to, how do we do that in an honest way? How do we, because for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bear a lot. Like I want to just tell everything. I kind of want to put it out there in an interesting way. And there are things that are dramatized and
of course,
switched. I mean,
it's entertainment.
It's entertainment, and he's not a comedian, and like all these, all these things. But yeah, it was like, how do we do it where it doesn't feel cheesy, where it's not just like this like preachy, like all right, like thing about fate. Like I wanted to make it feel as grounded and real as possible. And that's the stuff that we talked about a bunch. I mean, do you know Ari Kacher?
I don't know Ari.
I don't know if you know him through stand-up. He made Gerard's show with him. And so
I think I've met him a few times.
You probably met him around.
Because I always hear about Nick, but I never hear about...
Yeah. But yeah, it was like me, Ari, Ryan, Gerard. I mean, when we first started talking about the pilot, that was so much of it with us, where we were just like, all right, how do we like get these genuine things across, but like still have it sit in
I'm a good... Gerard's one of my best friends. And I love sitting with him and talking with him because he's such a like, you may not know it, but you're majorly influenced by him. I can tell.
Right. Well, sure. I mean,
even with your special, I was watching your special and I was like, oh man, this is like, it's just very much like this sort of like vulnerable, like it's like we're not worried about. We're not gonna make like we're not gonna worry about, we're gonna make this funny special, like I have to be funny.
Sure.
It's like, it was more like just like I'm gonna like break this down and I'm gonna express my feelings.
I'm gonna talk about these things.
Which is like, you know what I mean. And
that was a fun. I mean, meeting him was really cool because I didn't know him the first couple of years I was here, but I would always like. People would meet me and be like, "Oh, dude, you got to meet your. I feel like you guys would get along. Oh man, you guys are like on some wavelength that's together. You guys are really." And I remember even like friends of mine who had like seen his special, the first one. They're like, "Oh wait, do you know this dude? You guys are like," and we always kind of, so there's always this kind of like kindred, like you guys gotta hang, you guys gotta this, and then jamming out with him and being like, "Oh wait, like we really are on the same page." I mean, I think there's a lot of like approaches where we really diverge into. I mean, Gerard's very like, he kind of, I mean, I love watching him, but he like attacks an audience in a way I've never seen anyone do. It's like so antagonistic.
Well, because he hates comedy.
Like, he just hates comedy, and like,
you know what I mean?
It's
some people don't know about him. It's like he don't want to do it like that. That's why he's like, let's do it different.
I'll watch him do stand up and watch people leave crying. Like I literally remember being at the Improv once and just seeing someone just get up emotionally and leave because he's just so attacky. And I remember being like, all right, well, I'm not. There's not that. But yeah, no, we had both like had like an aversion to you know, anything that felt too removed from who we are. I mean, for me, that's on screen, that's on stage, where it's like I'm not good at act outs. That's why I don't do them. Like I'm not like, I don't know how to tap into
that's
that
not
energy.
Your thing.
It's just not my thing. Like I don't know how to tap into it. So that's something that we definitely like jammed out about. So I'm very aware of that, because it's like it's kind of why we became friends. We really connected on that.
Well, on the show, I mean, stylistically, I love the show. Because there's three episodes I really enjoyed because of this. It's like one that was all about the mom.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like, is she gonna cheat, or did she just enjoy the attention? And it was like, that was great. And then the one about the sister.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my ex-girlfriend's Jewish, so, and it was like very much. I read an article where somebody was saying, if you're Muslim or if you're Jewish, you need to watch this show so you can get that family, because it's the same kind of family experience. Cool. You know what I mean? Yes, but anyways, I really did enjoy that stylistic choice. So the mom episode, the daughter episode, and then the episode of young Ramy, you know, just like, you know, trying to figure out masturbating and you know, all of that stuff was great. And then the 9/11 stuff, and you do talk about it in your special too, just being like, you know, how this affected, you know, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's those episodes are some of my favorites too. I mean, they're so we get to like get really specific into like, you know, different perspectives. I mean, it's been great, the reception that those have gotten, and I
they're great episodes.
I mean, and they're also the ones I'm not in, so you're like, oh wow, that's really when the show shines.
No, you're good. You have a great earnest style. You're very vulnerable as an actor, but I enjoyed you as a director too.
It really excites me when people like those, because it's like we built this tone, and then it kind of can expand into anything. And I think that's what's so exciting about them, is that like the tone lets it kind of like breathe for all the characters, which was something I was really excited about doing when we set into it. So.
Well, you know, that's the thing too, is that it's not just those standalone episodes. It's the fact that within the framework of your 10 episode show, you decided these things were important for the overall story. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm interested to see what would happen for us. Is there a season 2?
Yeah, we're in the writers' room right now.
Oh, that's great, because I'm interested to see how season 2 is going to come about, because now all your stories are done. You know what I mean? This is like, oh, that was my kid, and then you know, this is the 9/11 and the walkie-talkies and all that stuff. Now it's like, now what? You know, so now I'm interested to see where you go. This is more challenging, actually.
Absolutely.
Season 2 is way more challenging. So, but I look forward to see where you're going. And I'm hearing Emmy buzz. I'm hearing this kind of things. I know it's like, I know you don't fucking be humble over there.
No, I'm not even gonna be humble. I would be it would bother me if we didn't get nominated for one.
Oh, good
for sure. No, it would. I feel like, you know, we deserve to be part of the conversation.
Yes,
at least with a nomination. That being said, I'm super realistic, and it's like, it's not. It genuinely isn't why I do it. The reason it would bother me is because it's really good exposure for the show. I think that in the bubble I'm in, I feel like a lot of people are seeing the show, but you know, in a really wide way, it still hasn't. You know, it's slipped through in a really cool way. It's cracked. I think people are watching, but like, I would love to get nominated so that more people watch it. So it's you know, that would be great.
Well, the more you get out there, what's great about it is where it lives, people can still find it.
People will find it.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, let's go. Oh, that show. Oh, let me go check that out. Because I tell everybody all the time. I had a meeting with somebody the other day. I was talking about, you know, for pitching something. And the guy was talking about, in the pitch in this meeting, he's saying like, well, I want to do things like with Ramy Youssef on
cool.
he was about like, let's have an episode about a different character. You know what I mean? So that's like, I said to myself, in that meeting, I thought, oh, he's coming on my podcast. I can't wait to tell him this. Because
that's really
that's
cool
the good stuff. You know what I mean? That's where you're making a difference. So
that's really exciting.
Yeah,
that's really exciting.
So then, you went to Egypt to film that, huh?
Yeah. We spent the last 2 episodes there, so I was there for like a month.
Oh wow, how was that?
I've
been to Egypt. They needed to bulldoze the whole place. I'm just gonna be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you, dude. I know it's your home country and all that, but that motherfucker needs to be bulldozed and start over. Okay, there's just too many people, man. They don't got the infrastructure. I was on a freeway. Okay, we're on a bus. We're on a freeway. We're behind a bus. The bus stops in the middle of the freeway and lets out a whole family with 3 goats. I was like, I'm out. Okay, I'm out. A whole family is on a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean that's true. You take an extended family on one motorcycle.
It's not even just a lot of honking.
Yeah, I mean bulldoze it all and start over is such an LA mentality.
I know.
It's the most LA thing I've ever.
But
heard.
not the pyramids. Keep the pyramids.
Keep them. Build around it. Man, I love that country.
I can tell.
I really do. I go every year. It's amazing. It's complicated. It's messy. It's sweaty. It's beautiful. It's really creative.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know if you felt like the creative inspiration there. I really like. I felt. Were you doing shows?
I was doing shows there. I was doing shows there. I've been went with the Med. I've gone a couple times. Because of him, you know what I mean? And it was very interesting experience, you know? They think I'm Egyptian, you know what I mean?
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you totally...
You are Egyptian, you know?
Yeah,
it's like they were like in my face about it, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I don't know.
You genuinely, you look like an Egyptian. And they were probably pissed that you didn't learn Arabic. They were like, you lost your culture over there in America.
But I had all these jokes that I was like, I was nervous. And I remember saying to Ahmed, I was like, do you want me to do these? You know the jokes I'm going to do, right? And he was like, do it, man. Do it. Go out there. Do it. And it was just like a great response, you know. I mean, Egypt, I went to the pyramids. I went to like, which I was really disappointed, like how dirty it was. Coke cans and all stuff all over the place.
That's the craziest thing is when you're at the pyramids and then you like look left to what is never in the photos.
Yeah.
Like, oh, is that a KFC? Like dude.
I was like, what is this?
Is that
this is the 7th wonder of the world?
Is that a TGI Fridays next to the Sphinx?
Oh man.
Yeah, that's always a big shock.
By the way, but not to interrupt you, but I want you to talk about this whatever you're about to say too, is that I could tell how excited you were to film in Egypt.
Really?
Like it came across on the screen. Like my first thought when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, they're actually in Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, this must have been so fantastic to film in Egypt. Like how did that come about?
It was, I mean, so much of it for me making the show was like, okay, let's say we only get 1 season, right? Like that's, kind of going and being like, I'm not gonna save this for, season 2 or 3. It's like, man, we had 10 episodes. Like I want to use every idea I've ever had and I want to make it amazing and I want to put it all out on the table. I mean, even like the walkie-talkie episode that's based on the thing from my stand-up, that I had kind of treated out as a movie at some point. And when you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, this could be a movie. But I was like, you know what? I don't. How do I know I'm gonna get to make a movie?
You call it Muslim things.
Yeah, Muslim. I mean, easily. You see it.
I mean? I saw it. It was great. I love that whole thing.
That's a lot of these things could have been in different. And I was just like, no, I want to do everything, and I know how to do it. I know that it can be in the integrity of the character. And we talked a lot about as a writer's room, and with my producing team, everyone, we were just like, how do we pull off all these things we really want to do? Egypt was so on the list. It was like, we got to do this. We have to go. And it was. I was so excited. I mean, I went there every year as a kid. I still go as an adult, and to go there and get to work there and work with an all Egyptian crew, work with this cast, and they were so excited to make this.
Yeah,
everyone was so pumped, so supportive.
I would have loved if you would have just looked at camera one time. We're in Egypt, you know what I mean? Just break the fourth wall just for a second.
Yo, this is dope.
Yeah,
I mean, the attitude of like getting things done there is really exciting. I mean, everyone's just excited. Everyone wants to make something happen. Like I remember we were shooting a scene and it was like this montage and I was like, oh man, it would have been cool if we had like a kid for this thing, for this bit. And then
somebody goes, get a kid.
Literally, the production manager just goes, "What kind of kid?" And then in 10 minutes,
there's no rules. It's a lawless country, so you could just grab a kid.
In 10 minutes, you have 3 moms.
Yeah.
Being like, pick Ahmed, like put him in, and in what here that would take. I mean,
nightmare.
And then there'll be a week, and then you got to get the
Nazi
school
guy
teacher.
there who's like, finish, finish the scene.
He's got to go do school. Like as if acting acting kids on set actually get real schooling. Oh, I mean, it's a whole.
It's all nonsense.
It's a whole.
But I love the whole going to Egypt on the show was like so authentic. It was like you had to bring 6 suitcases, and you had to bring the iPads, and you have to everybody you have to bring for uncle and auntie and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, because my family's from Belize, and so it was like that when I was a kid. It was like, oh, you have to take all this stuff, and you have to take inshore and it's like
dude, anyone who has family anywhere else knows that whole your bags are being packed for you. I mean, I almost wanted to shoot the scene at the airport where the guy is like, did you pack these bags yourself or on the form? And it's like,
not really. I mean, do you want to talk to my mom?
I mean, I know the people who did.
No, it was great, man. And one of my favorite parts about that, and by the way, guys, you really should watch this show. It's on Hulu. Make sure because I know we're talking about. You're like, what show is he talking about? It's just called Ramy, and it's on Hulu. But one of the parts that I really enjoyed in the Egypt is that you're this American guy, and you're Muslim, you're woke, and you're like talking about like, oh guys, you guys did it. You were in the streets for the, you guys were, and then they like put you in your place, like, yo, bro, people died.
Yeah.
Like, stop. We don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you.
I mean, so much of it was just like, how do we call out my character? And that happens in every episode. It's like, I didn't want to make a character that was just, this perfect guy who does the right thing. Yeah. It's like, no, he's an idiot.
Very flawed.
He's flawed. He's got, he's got
just
these things.
Flawed,
and he shows up to Egypt and he's like, questioning people about the Egyptian revolution. Like it's this amazing historical thing that, he's so excited to learn more about. And everyone's like, dude, it's still happening. Like, what do you like, can you stop
my friend
stepping
died.
on this nerve,
bro.
and really kind of like, because what's so interesting to me is like the way we stereotype ourselves. We think that we, kind of are, oh, well, I'm the thing. So, but no, it's like, dude, you can be racist against your own people. You can be ignorant towards your own people. You can be all those things. And so we're kind of trying to strip away at that, strip away at this, like this fabricated idea of self, and really get to it. Yeah. And so that those episodes were really fun to strip a lot of that back.
It was good, man. And another thing I really enjoyed about the show is your friend. The guy, whoever that guy's great, man. I would he should have his own show. That would be like if like liberal Hollywood really wants to go all the way. Are you working on it?
We're working on it.
Oh, that's
we're trying
great.
to make that happen. Yeah,
oh, because he's fucking great.
We're trying to make that
he's
happen.
like, what does he have? What is that?
He has muscular dystrophy.
He has muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
And he's like, now, did you have a friend like that? Is it based off someone real?
It's him.
Oh.
I've known him since 3rd grade.
He's the guy?
That's the guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
I just want to tear up. I just want to tear up.
We've known each other since we were kids.
He is fantastic. That's why you guys had great chemistry. It was just like good, fantastic. Again, one of my favorite scenes is like you wiping his ass and him being like, you put some feeling in it this time. I didn't feel like and I was like, what a like relationship, and then that's why I thought it was important for you to show that episode of as a kid of when you met. And this is how long they've known each other. And then you're just like, oh, that's why he's wiping his ass. Yeah. He's like his brother, and they've known each other for their whole life. Yeah. But he's great.
He's amazing. He's such a highlight. I mean, it was so cool to like, he's also a really good stand-up, and it's great. He's like,
really?
Well, because his voice is so clear. Like he knows what he's talking about.
Yes,
I mean, he knows.
Not that people with muscular dystrophy don't know what they're talking about. Let's not imply that.
No, he but he's really just like he's. And it's interesting.
He's self-aware. That's what I love about him.
So self-aware. And it's so interesting because it's like hard for him to do. I mean, look, if he's in New Jersey. I mean, New York comedy clubs. If you have, even if you're able-bodied, you can barely get into.
You can barely get down.
You can barely get down these narrow. I'm going down there. I'm like, I think I might. I might get an injury trying to get into this club. And so he's not someone who's like out there on the circuit getting a ton of exposure. We're making this show. He hasn't been in a ton of stuff. I know he can act.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in anything, but I know he can. And so we're writing this character, and then we come to casting, and Hulu's kind of like, all right, cool. So like, who's gonna play Steve? And I'm like,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve's gonna play Steve.
And they're like, well, what's he been in? I'm like, nothing.
He's in a wheelchair, bro. We got this.
And then we do the audition, and then they were just like, oh shit, this is really good.
Yeah.
And they were really excited about it.
That's good.
And
I would love to have him. I would love to watch Steve.
Dude, it's something that I'm really excited about. Yeah.
If he's like a store manager or something. I don't know. Anything. You know what I mean? Just like I just think you drop him anywhere, and then just how people have to interact with him. I need to be on that show. We'll put it out here.
Come on.
I love that. That's good. So he was great too, man. And then now let's go into like, again, I watched your special, and again, it's just like, it's a different style that I'm used to.
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest, different style. And I'm just like, and it's like having these deep conversations with Gerard all the time about what stand-up's supposed to be and being authentic. So that's why I say I very much like enjoyed watching like that influence, not necessarily his influence like him, but I'm saying the influence of being like, hey, let's do this different.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be vulnerable. Let's be this. Yeah. And you definitely were. I mean, especially the way you ended it. I was like, fuck, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great way to call back on that joke to like soften it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But just just to say the words, did 9/11 work?
Yeah.
I was
with a lot more context.
Yeah. No, we're not gonna just you have to. That's why you have to watch his special, which is on HBO, called Feelings. But you set up this, just the way you set everything up, and just like how you talked about the things. Were you satisfied with? Were you satisfied that you got out everything you wanted to get out?
Yeah, it was really. I mean, you know how it is. Like you've done a couple specials, right? I mean, it's like you kind of get your.
But I want to scrap them all when I watch you young guys and see what you guys are doing. And I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? Am I being true to myself? You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of the show is from that material, right? Like you can see kind of a lot of that stuff like ended up being the backbone for most of the episodes.
Yes, I saw
a lot of the dialogue is like, stuff from on stage. And so there was this relationship with, as I was working on the show, I'd be on stage kind of working things out and I mean, it's how we pitched the show. We didn't have a script. We had like 45 minutes of what is part of what is now Feelings.
Right. Sweet.
And then I probably scrapped like 15 of it, wrote a different 30, and kind of like pieced that together to make the special.
Right.
But it's really cool. I mean, it's like it's really fun to have it out there at the same time as the show.
Yeah.
I think it feeds the conversation like back and forth between it. And you know how it is. It's like we're always perfectionists. It's like the second you're done with it, and that night.
Why did I say that?
That night at the hotel, you're like, oh, I forgot that bit, and then you're like, oh man, and that other tag and that other thing. And the thing I'm most happy about with it is it feels like me, like, and it feels like like I think if anyone came out to watch my hour while I was working it, it would have felt like that night, and I liked that, and I felt like, oh, okay, so that's me. Like I don't feel like I'm something else or someone else, and I don't feel sometimes there's this energy of like, this is the stand-up special version of me or something like that. It's just like this is the off the cuff. It's like it's that and so that was kind of my attitude going in, and I was really happy that that showed. And so I was just watching it and I was like, okay, cool. That's like, I own that shirt. Like sometimes you see someone like get up on like, and you're like, I used to talk about
never worn that outfit.
That's something me and Gerard and Bo Burnham had talked about a bunch of just like clothing. We were like, where did like, I know this dude. He doesn't own those shoes.
He's
when did
never
he get those
worn
shoes?
that ever.
When did he get those shoes? And so, and that's not like, I love comedy. I love stand up. I think that everyone's specials that I've seen they're influential on me. So I think it's constantly everyone's kind of like bouncing off of like different things. But I think when you look at the material, you look at the whatever, you're like, so what is this person like bringing to this that I haven't seen? And for me, I was like, okay, I'm saying some stuff that I had wanted to say and I didn't feel like was being said. And that's what's most satisfying to me about it. That's how I feel about the show and this and that too. Our show, like people will be like, oh, it's in the vein of Atlanta, vein of Louis, vein of this, vein of that. Everyone's always going to look at like the reference point of the thing that's kind of in the ballpark of the tone.
Whatever's in the lexicon at the time.
What can I kind of like put it towards? You know, what can I kind of like angle it with? And so, but then you like dig in and you're like, okay, cool. So what's fresh here? What's new? You know, and I think most stand-up specials are similar in a way that doesn't bother me really, because it's like, well, what's the person saying? Because that's what it all ends up being anyway. What are you actually saying into the microphone, and what new thoughts are you putting out there? And I felt like there were a lot of things I wanted to say that I'm very happy I got to say, and I'm very happy to get to be out there. And so, so that makes me happy.
That's good, man. Yeah, I could tell. I mean, you look happy and content, like you're just ready to attack more. But what do you think about the state of stand-up comedy right now?
I mean,
is it in a good place?
I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, I you know, it's funny because you kind of started off talking about the woke situation in a way, and I think it's like, you know, with everything I just said, you know, obviously I have there's sincerity to what I want to do, but it also has to, like, you have to kind of embrace what could I say here that can't be said not here, right? So like we get the safety of telling jokes in a way, like that should feel safe, because that means we can get really fucked up, and that means like we can go to places that we shouldn't go to, which is something we constantly try to do on the show. It's something I try to do in stand-up, where it's like, okay, my job is to like go into these really, like, even we talk about the ending of the special, like there are certain things in that special that like I wouldn't drop in a convo, you know. I wouldn't. You
it has to context. You could. You have to set this up. It has to like go on this journey. Then you get where we're going with it.
Like I think there's a problem if your stand-up set could play on CNN. Like, I mean, and that's like you know what I mean? Like on CNN News, you know what I mean? I mean, and now I will exclude Colin Quinn, because Colin Quinn made his thing for CNN, and it's really good because it's like crafted for a certain thing. But it's like, I think it should have like edge, you know?
Like you want it to be like if you were on CNN, and they wanted to, they can't find
they can't really quite play. Yes. What can we play from here? Which I felt that way when we were like doing the, you know, the circuit of press or whatever, and they were like, I mean, there's these 2 clips we could use, and I'm like, okay, cool, great, I'm happy. Good. Like I'm happy. This is kind of what, and it's not sensational or dirty just for the sake of being those things. But it's like stepping into like it should be an honest expression that doesn't make the comedian per se look good. I don't think, like, I think there's this obsession with, you know, hey, I look good, I'm on the right side of things, and
right.
That's like really, if we talk about the state of stand-up, that's something that's really tough to watch. Yes. Just like, it's like you're watching people kind of defend themselves, and I think it's more interesting
defend their position,
defend their position, defend who they are, kind of be on the right side. And it's like, okay, be on the right side, but also show how you're wrong while you're on the right side. Like that's more interesting to me. It's like what's like ugly about you is really interesting.
I totally agree.
And that's something that like I have found as I've been doing it, doing the show helped a lot. Those are, I mean, obviously conversations I've had with comics that I really respect. Like I've talked with, like, had convos, obviously, like Drew. I don't know if you're like gotten Drew Michael on here. He's great. He's so thoughtful.
I love Drew.
About the Drew's so thoughtful
Drew
about
and
that
I will
stuff.
talk for an hour about his, you know, no audience special. I love going back and forth with him about it. And then I said, like, that's a whole Gerard thing. You know what I mean? Like, this motherfucker, you know, and they, just the way they talk about it, it's like, shut up, you pretentious fucks.
It's really fun, man.
You know, and it's just, but that's just a part of this movement. And so, by the way, I want to just, because I never got to actually make my point, and now that I think about it, you mentioned it, because when people say they're woke, they don't necessarily follow it up with anything. And what I'm saying is, what I've noticed with you is, with your show, with your special, you're following up your state of being, of who you are. And so then you're expressing that, and I think it's an important thing to watch, you know, whether you dig it or not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it like, I don't think I've never felt like I wasted any time watching someone or something where they were being them, you know, in an honest way, where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I saw something. Now, is that my person? Is that the person I vibe with? It doesn't really matter. I mean, like, I think there are really good things that are like, you know, 50% Rotten Tomatoes because they really split people. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like, oh man,
you want it to be like, oh, I can't believe he said that. You know?
There are different 50% Rotten Tomatoes. There are some where it's like, oh, that shit just sucks, and then there's some where it's like, oh no, that's for some people and it's not for other people. And I think that's good. Like, I think that's an exciting thing. Yes. And kind of with, you know, I don't know, where do you think stand-up's at? I mean, are you excited?
I just think it's weird. I think it's oversaturated. I think that the people aren't experiencing the live performance. They don't. That's really what stand up is.
Yeah.
Because it's not like music, but that's what we're compared to in a sense that it's like somebody has an album and then we like that sound and then we go watch them live.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the reverse for stand up, but then people are skipping the live element.
Right.
They're skipping it and they're just trying to get the snippets, the little TV version, the little 15-minute Netflix or all these things. And it's just like, that's not really, because how many great stand-ups do you know? Like we have friends and they've done half hours and then you go, ooh, what happened there?
I know, and they're so good.
But after doing a half hour myself
and
experiencing how it happens, I go, I totally get why people tank because the way they set you up for failure.
Yeah.
So that's not the same as like when you just go see somebody raw at a club and get that experience. That's real. That's the stand-up that you really admire. And I don't think that is. Well, go ahead. What you about to say?
I would say I gotta say, and this is not just because I'm here. This is something I've said off the record various times.
Off the record, everybody.
Various times in various conversations.
Off the record with Ramy.
I've said this off the record various times. You're probably one of the few people that like when you're up killing, and if I'm up next, I'm like, fuck, I gotta follow. and that's not.
Just different energy.
I don't feel that way about a lot of people. No, but like when you kill, you.
I know when I go for it. Well, man. Tell me more about me, Ramy.
Kill. No, like when you go in, I'm just like, oh my god, this is. I've also seen you like isolate a crowd too. Like I've seen you, and it's amazing. It's like, but like you kind of do it. When you do it, you like fucking do it. Which is like that's the energy I really like.
But I'm saying, I think that's what people see. My point I'm trying to make is, go watch people live.
Yeah,
because you're gonna see something.
Yeah.
That like you go, whoa! I didn't expect that tonight.
Yeah.
Or you might catch me on a night where I'm in a good mood and I'm blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or you might catch me in a night where I'm like, you know what? Fuck everybody. But that is an experience.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not just this like cookie cutter is put together in a way that is presented like ta-da. Not everything has to be like that. And I just think that there's just a lot of that right now. We're just. I don't know. I think stand-up's I'm just 50-50 about it. I think part of me says, wow, look how much is out there. The other part of me is like, I wish there was better content out there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of I mean, like obviously with the Netflix of it where it's just like there's a lot. There's just
it's just a lot.
There's a ton. Like anyone who's pretty good should have one. Like it's almost like if you're good and you don't have one.
It's like Byron Allen's show. Remember that late night show that everybody did?
No.
What was the name of it? Oh God, I can't.
Wait, you talking about Laughs?
No.
Okay.
Like the round table where he's like, he's doing like a somewhat interview. So Ramy, I hear you went to Egypt. Then you do your Egypt joke. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, I never saw that.
Oh man, but anyway, that's when I know what you're saying. It's like if you're good or semi good or a little bit popular.
There's this like expectation to have one out. I mean, like for me, the timing of doing this special was really like I really wanted to do it with the show because I do think that they kind of like they feed off each other.
Yes.
And the most important thing to me was just like I want to introduce people to how I think. I obviously want it to be funny. Like it has to be funny. You can't just be like making points.
Right. But that's the balance though, right?
That is the balance,
hard, especially with your style.
Yeah, sure.
Especially with your style and how you talk about things,
sure.
and the group of people that you hang around with, like Gerard and Bo and these type of people. They are very much like, I need to say this.
Sure. Yeah.
But the skill as a stand-up is to say that.
Yeah.
And also make it funny.
Yeah. And I think that like it's that's where it's gonna come down to preference, right? Because it's like I feel like everything I said in my special always hit a punch, but I do think that there are people who might watch it and just be like, man, this dude's just like slow or something, or they might watch it and be like, man, fuck this shit, and I'm okay with like that's fine. That's fine. It's kind of like okay, cool, like that's like. Cool. That's what you.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of putting something out. It's like,
right.
Yes, you are. Of course, you're entitled to that opinion. I asked you to watch me for 56 minutes. That's fucking nuts. Yeah. You should only watch me for 56 minutes if you love it, and if you don't, then that's good too. Like move. But
that was the old school way. Would be like you would build up an audience, and then a special was. This is just like for your fans to be like, hey, here I am.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's different. Now we're introducing people with specials.
Sure. I mean, I had a weird thing where it's like my show came out before my special. That's nuts.
Yeah.
A show called Ramy, and it's like, who's Ramy? It's like a weird. I mean, that's part of the streaming, and that's part of like the way things are. And so I'm so aware of like how out of order that might be, and I'm so but it's kind of like
out of order.
But like out of order, dude, like with the traditional kind of trajectory, and out of order isn't even bad. Like none of it's bad. I'm just kind of like looking at it, and I'm like, okay, cool. So this is like this and that, and then you're figuring out the format too. So for me, it's like I watch my show 10 episodes, and I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I know how I'm gonna make that better. And then I watch my special, and I'm like, okay, cool. I know I'm gonna do the next one, and you kind of like grow.
Well, what's great about it too is that now that Netflix stole comedy from everyone.
Yeah.
So now when you do it on these other networks, they actually are special.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So HBO they should coin that, like, no, because remember it used to be like, oh, you got to get an HBO special. You got to get an HBO special. Now it's you have to, you got a Netflix special? You got to get a Netflix special? I understand the power of Netflix. I get it. I mean, I just did that Adam Sandler movie, and it was like everybody that's ever met me is like hitting me up like, oh man, I'm watching your movie, I saw the movie.
It's unreal. It's
unreal. So, but it doesn't necessarily make it.
This is the power of Netflix. I've had people with the show and with the special tell me, dude, I love your Netflix show. And, oh, man, dude, your Netflix special is so good. And I'm like, do you not realize you were on other apps?
Two different networks.
You don't remember being on Hulu?
It's like it's like Kleenex, dude. It's like, I say this all the time. It's like Kleenex. They have coined, like, where it's like, oh, are you watching that Netflix show? And it's like, this is the WB, man. What are you,
I'm like reading tweets that are like, yo, this Netflix show, Ramy goes hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you...
Yeah, you just go, sorry, Hulu.
I'm like,
I know, man.
How is this happening?
Why Hulu? Were they the ones that said yes? I get it. Good for them.
We were very, very fortunate. I mean, you got pitched. You've pitched. You pitched. We pitched like 6-7 spots. We had 3 offers, which was great. It was really tough, actually. We were between FX and Hulu, and it was really.
Why'd you choose Hulu? Between the two.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, I'm glad that you picked. Can I say something about it first? Just to get my thoughts is that if you go on Hulu, you don't got to hold back anything.
Yeah.
And just in case you need to say and do things, the things you showed in your show were important for the story. And FX might have been like, you can't have a condom full of cum on the screen.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't
know. I just made
no. Yeah, I mean, because they take a lot of risk. I mean, they do. I mean, that's the place, right? I mean,
yeah,
Louis
they
got
are.
Louis got
the Shield.
Louis got away with a lot on.
Did he?
I
didn't
FX.
Watch it.
He
only watched it a few times.
He did a lot. No, it was. I mean, they do a lot. It was really cool. It was more just like, I'm no one, and it's kind of, it's so hard to go through the pilot process, and so you're kind of like, what's the place that like has nothing and needs it more? I mean, when we made the deal with Hulu, Handmaid's Tale wasn't even out yet.
Oh, really?
That's when we made our deal, and they were like, we got this show coming out. It's gonna be better than Game of Thrones, and I'm like,
is it?
What the fuck you talking about? No, they didn't say better. They said it's gonna be our Game of Thrones.
Oh.
And then I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this is.
It is.
I was like,
that's true.
I was like,
did you watch that show?
Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new season, but I watched the first 2, and I was like, yo, this
is. I got to catch up.
I was like, yo, this is awesome.
That show is ill.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I watched as a dude when I watched that show.
God.
I'm always like I always think to myself, how if that happened, where would I land?
Yeah,
I have to really sit and ask myself, like, where would I land? Like, because it makes you think, should I be doing more in this society?
Man, you be in Canada, dude. You be in Canada.
I be in Canada.
You be in Canada.
I know, right? But it's just, you know what I mean, though. It's like you just go like, one of my favorite scenes in that show is like, because the lady, what's her name, Mrs. Waterford,
Yeah,
she's like, was part of making this whole thing.
Yeah,
she's got her little notes, and they come out and go, yeah, they're not gonna let you speak. And she was like, oh, and that was the moment. And then she walks away.
I know.
And the guy's all like, yeah, they forgot their way. They've forgotten their way and their place. And I was like, God damn, this show is like, it makes hits you in the core, And I think that you're right on message with Hulu. If that's what Hulu's trying to do, is like make it groundbreaking.
They're going for it.
They went for it.
They're going for it.
Your show is a good go for it. I just feel like you guys out there, if you are ethnic at all, I think you should watch Ramy's show, because you just really you learn about yourself, because as an audience member watching, like I'm going through your eyes, And then at the same time, I'm watching the show and I'm going, oh man, don't do that. What are you doing? And that's why I love your two friends in the show too. Let's give them some love too.
Oh man, yeah.
Those two guys are great because they're so grounded in like what you think you want to be. And that's what's so funny about it is that they're who you should be trying to be like. They're married. They got jobs.
So funny, man. I mean, Dave Merhej. He's. I don't know if you've seen him do stand up.
I haven't seen him do stand up yet.
He's unreal.
But I started following them because of the show.
Dude. And Mo, have you not seen Mo? Mo is so good. I mean, Mo's he's got a Netflix. They both have Netflix specials out. And they're killers, man. And it was really cool because I've lived with both of them at certain times.
Oh, really?
And so there's that chemistry, and it was just fun doing
it.
It
was great.
It was fun.
It really. I feel like we're just Ramy.
No, man, no. It's props to them. They really make it feel alive. I mean, it's
yes.
They really do make it feel alive. And wait, but there was something. Oh, but just to close the loop on this, like this decision thing with the two.
Yeah.
Closing the loop. It was.
You need to sing a mic for that.
Oh shit! Hold on, wait. Closing the loop.
See, did that sound
good?
Bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He closed the loop.
That's kind of addicting, actually.
Yeah, really see, everybody likes to sing a mic once they get on it.
Yeah, man. It was just like when we were picking how we wanted to do it. It was it's just a choice between where you think you got the best shot, and it's such a slim window.
Yeah.
But you have so much respect for all the places. I mean, because everyone's like, all these networks you go and pitch to all have made like just amazing things, and you're kind of like, I want to be part of all that. And so for me, it was just at the time, again, it's not like there was anything going on at Hulu that you were like, you got to be there, but I just felt like I could make it. I was like, oh, cool. This might get through.
On your first thing, you're always like, they're going to let me do this?
Yeah, can I just do it?
In the pitch process and everything, did you already let them know, hey, and we're going to go film in Egypt? Or when did you drop that on them? Because that was probably the cost was probably like,
So this is the crazy thing. They probably wish they could shoot all of it in Egypt.
Oh,
because
that's
you don't.
True. What am I saying?
You're not paying
There's no
union
restrictions. They were like, are you guys gonna do a whole Egypt season?
Like, does Ramy want to go to Brazil? It's like, I'm not Brazilian, and they're like, maybe go to Brazil.
So let's do a show in Prague.
Go to Brazil. We can make this thing for half. So no, they were. It was. It did come up in the pitch. Yeah, it was part of the pitch.
Well, that probably sold the whole thing.
It was part of it.
Yeah. Just you and your look and everything like that. They're probably like, he's an adorable terrorist. We can understand him. And they were like, okay, let's do this. I don't know. So does that leave room for, with all your busyness, does it leave room for romance?
Oh man, dude, what do you do? You got something going?
I did, but I'm single now.
You single now?
Yeah, I was in a relationship for almost 2 years.
Because I'm always curious how people are balancing it with stand up.
It's hard to balance. Yeah. It takes a rare. I commend my ex-girlfriend because to put up with me and my personality, it's a lot.
Sure.
Especially because she was beautiful and and beautiful women, they love getting attention.
Sure.
And when you're in the entertainment business, I'm gonna get all the attention. So she said to me, this was great. I took her we're at the Comedy Store and Brad Williams is there with his wife.
Oh yeah.
And no, actually she wasn't with me. And I'm telling his wife was like, where's your girlfriend? And I was like, oh, I'll bring her. She was like, yes, she used to come. We have a support group for, and then I told my girlfriend about it and she was like, oh, that's great. I do need to talk to someone about how do they deal with this is what she said. How do they deal with the travel and the diva behavior? Diva, and then I thought to myself, of course I'm a diva.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so it's like you can barely deal with your own ego.
I can
That's
barely
why you gotta
deal
go
with,
on stage.
Exactly, dude.
Now someone else is supposed to.
So you must be you must be unbearable right now.
Unbearable, dude. Unbearable. I don't want to put her on blast. Yeah, I'm seeing someone, but she,
it's just you're in the seeing phase right now.
Yeah. What do you say? What,
I guess that's what you say.
I feel like you're either seeing someone or you're
dating.
Right?
No, I think it's called date, but I guess the young people call it seeing.
Yeah, I'm seeing someone.
So you're going steady with someone?
No, I'm going steady. Let's take it back to like the 60s. I'm going steady with a gal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm going steady with a gal. And but yeah, it's like a hard balance. I mean, it's cool now because I'm here, I'm just writing. Like everything's kind of died down.
But there was a time when you're gonna be like, hey, I'm going on this world tour.
It's like, hey, I'm leaving for 6 months.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure out weekends and it's like I think it's like I feel optimistic about it. I feel like
good.
We can work it out.
Let's not. But this will live forever, and then she'll look back on this after you break up with her and be like, he was talking about me right there. Remember when you loved me?
How quickly do you say I love you?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a toughie
in a relationship.
You know what? I think you say it when you don't mean it yet, but you feel like it's like I feel like it's like you're on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're already in the seat. You started going, and you're at that. You're going, and you go. You know what? It's there. I see it. So let me just say this, and then you gotta hope that when you feel that feeling, you're like, oh, I actually do mean this, because that's when you really. When you say when you say I love you, it's not because you love them, right? But it's after you've already said I love you, and then you're in it, and you have a moment where you go, wow.
Oh yeah, I really love you.
I really do love you.
Yeah.
That's when it's there.
Yeah.
Right? And are you there yet?
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I love this. 'Cause you are so beautiful. Ramy's in love. That's great, man.
Hey, man.
White girl or?
No, she's not. No.
I was just thinking you're special because you're special. Like, I date white girls. You know what I mean? You're like, it would be undisclosed.
It would be undisclosed.
She hasn't met my mom yet.
Yeah, I don't see color. It's become real political.
Yeah. No, that's good, man.
We're all humans.
Oh, yeah.
We all look different with a little bit of sunlight, and there's no need to.
Yeah, that's when Republicans say that when they find out their kids are gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when they go, we're all the same.
Aren't we
aren't we all human beings?
They're just body parts.
Aren't they? Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad that that's happening. But so you're writing season 2, and that's when do you start shooting that?
We start shooting that in October. Yeah.
Oh, so you just moving
October in New York. Yeah.
You're just moving and grooving. Oh, you're still filming in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you have to. I mean, that's just.
It's just we got to grab it, and hopefully we shoot more in Jersey this year, and we're trying to make a couple just a couple cool episodes that are definitely going to need us to be over there. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see an episode just about one of your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just one of them, because that's how you do the spin-off,
Yes.
That's how the Jeffersons was,
Yes.
So what else are you watching? What's your jam right now? Do you find time for TV?
I've been trying to. It's tough. Like I kind of go back and forth between. I feel like there's always two mentalities in making something where you're like, okay, let me watch everything to know what it's out there, or I want to watch nothing because I kind of just want to. I don't want anything to seep in.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was doing my special, I didn't watch any stand up. Like I don't think I watched. I don't think I watched anyone's special for like 2 years or something. I really don't think I watched like I would kind of peek in, see what people are doing, this and that. You watch a little bit, and you're like, oh man, fucking. Like, oh, I love Nate Bargatze, but I'm only gonna watch 7 minutes of this because I don't want to I don't want it to seep in to what I'm doing. Probably the only ones I watched were maybe Chappelle, just because you're kind of like, oh, I mean, that's just my favorite. So I was like,
but then you watch. But this is what happens. See, I feel like you have to watch these things sometimes just because you want to find out, am I talking about the same stuff?
I don't care.
Okay, good.
See, my thing is it doesn't. In my mind, I'm like, because I try to put everything through a barometer of only I could say it. That's something I'm proud about with my special. I don't know what joke of mine you could lift because it's all kind of tied to who I am, and it's all kind of tied to what I that's how I so for me it's like it doesn't matter if we're talking about the same thing because Eric's version is going to be so much different than mine. So it's I kind of don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's been
it was I did man, it was you do there's just too much comedy out and not enough of it is at its highest quality.
Sure.
Because it's just you're just doing it. Let me just get it out.
Yeah.
So then now there's more people. Now there's more recorded stand up of people talking about the same shit.
Sure.
that's just how the state of what we live right now.
Yeah.
So, because even with Chappelle's special, I would have loved for him to combine all four of those and be one really fantastic special.
Yeah.
But it's like they're just look. If you giving people, listen, you give me $20 million, I'm coming out with. I don't care how I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna be like different races. I'm be like, this is the black version. This is the Egyptian version.
You get up there. Part of 6 minutes of your special is you taking the call from Pauly Shore.
This is Pauly, guys.
Sorry, guys. You gotta talk to Pauly.
Yeah, you hear him go. You called me, bro.
That's probably gonna be a bit in someone's special one of these years.
I know.
It's like a phone call. My mom's always calling me. Ring, ring, ring. Mom, it's my special, Mom.
I know.
She's like, did you wear a jacket?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good bit. If anyone
there we go.
There
it is. Now it's not only are jokes on shows, on specials, they're also on podcasts now. So you can't watch anything. So you weren't watching any comedy. You weren't watching any.
Really. I mean, right now, I just on TV. I saw. I'm getting through Fleabag season 2, which I don't know if you've seen that show.
No, I haven't seen. What's that on?
It's on Amazon Prime, but it plays in the UK, I believe.
I love Amazon Prime.
It's either on Channel 4 or on BBC. I don't know. And this woman, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's like, she's amazing, man. She's an icon. She's so good.
I might check that out. I love learning about a new show.
She's so good. Yeah, it's.
I've watched a couple of those. I watched Hannah on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I finished that. I watched 10 Star with Tim Roth.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that's on there. That show's weird.
Yeah,
you might like it. It's in Canada. He's like a British cop who's like.
I like how it's weird, and the first thing is like, dude, this shit's in Canada.
I mean, this shit's but like it's not like city Canada. It's like country Canada, like in the country.
Yeah. No.
So where he's like a sheriff, but he used to be a criminal.
Is there like a lot of in the country? So there's like a lot of like fields and stuff.
Yeah.
Anytime I see fields and crops, I'm like, oh, this shit's gonna be fucking weird. It's gonna be scary.
This was a weird one. It was like Canadian Amish. You know what I mean? It's kind of thing. So I saw that one, Hannah, of course. What else was on? Sneaky Pete, which they just canceled.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was actually I haven't seen it. I knew that it was created by Bryan Cranston though.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Yeah.
The first season was great. Second season was great. Third season, I think they were trying to get the tax credit, so they were like everything was written about like, oh, we got to go to L.A.
Sure.
Which I think ruined it. But I think also these streaming networks, like even like Hulu, Netflix, they're not doing more than 3 seasons.
It's funny because it's like I don't like. I wish people and the whatever when it drops on Deadline or Hollywood Reporter, I wish after 3 seasons they wouldn't say canceled,
right?
Because it's kind of like it just ended.
Yeah,
like canceled feels like we didn't even get to.
Right,
it's like 3
That's
seasons.
because we're so used to like 7 seasons, 10 seasons of Modern Family is going on its 75th season. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But I really feel like if you're pitching shows now, you got to go in with like, here's the 3-season arc, and we'll finish in the 3rd season with this because they just don't want to spend the money because there's no money coming in.
So it's just I hate that they still say can't. I'm like,
I know,
they should just put up a thing that says after 3 seasons, Sneaky Pete concludes.
Yes.
I mean, like that's all. That's all it really is.
Another phone call. I thought I put the what do you call it on, man? This is my mom calling too.
Oh really? I thought it was
this is
crazy. Chris Rock's calling.
I know. Like, I wish. Right? You need me, Chris?
I got bumped by Chris at the Cellar a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And it was just the best. I was like, oh man, I could watch a Chris Rock set.
Oh, he bumped you, huh? Did bumping over there?
I mean, I got to go up, but like later. It was kind of like he went up and he did his thing, and I was just watching. I was like, this is great. I mean, he was so at the top of his game.
He must have been working on something,
dude. He was working
because when he works on it, and it's like I've seen it too. Like sometimes, when you see the early part of it, he's like, lower your expectations. He'll say that,
No, well, I've seen him go out with a notebook. He doesn't do the Chris Rock voice.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of like,
I love that.
Like he'll just get like, I remember seeing him. He had a 9/11 joke. He went up and he was just like, they're rebuilding it. They're calling it the Freedom Tower. I'm gonna call it I'm never going in there. That shit blew up twice. like and that like just deadpan.
Yeah.
And he's like, what
just
is
checking it out?
And he's just like, what are they? You putting businesses in there? What are the suitcases gonna have parachutes? and he's just saying it like that, really like. And then you see him a couple months later, and he kind of puts the Chris Rock voice on. And he's like, the suitcase is supposed to have, and he kind of like gets up and like does the thing, and you're like,
performs.
and you're like, oh yeah, this is. this is an amazing process.
Which is why I say to people, go watch live stand-up.
It's so fascinating.
Go to, and still watch, like, it's almost even better if you go watch somebody working on their shit.
Oh, it's amazing.
And then, like, their specials coming out, and then you're just like, oh, let me check that out.
See how
let me see how that came together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why didn't I put my phone in airplane mode?
Yeah,
they had this do not disturb. They had this
mode.
do not disturb on the iPhones.
It disturbs.
It just disturbed me like all these times. So now I got to go
to. It disturbs. Yeah, I'm
going to airplane mode, and now it's too late because I've already disturbed. Because we're almost done. We're at like an hour. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's. What do you want, Mom?
How often you talk to your mom?
She just moved back from Spain.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but she's, the dementia's kicking in right now. So it's a lot, you know. So I'm talking about it on stage because that's how I deal with shit.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so it's tough, if people have dealt with that. So which has made me worry about my health.
Sure.
So I've been like going to cryo and like, changing my diet and like, taking the turmeric and
I'm really interested in cryo, man.
Oh man, you'll love it.
It's dope. Huh?
Yeah, you got to do it. There's a great place called Next Health. I just gave them a plug. But Next Health is in Century City, and they have one in West Hollywood.
Yeah, I've been hearing like only good.
Yeah,
I hear it's so.
You just got to find a place and just do it. Yeah, it's just you should just look up benefits of cryo. But I do it, and it's like you feel like it's cold as fuck, but like you feel like you just ran or something. It gives you this.
Do you
rush.
You have a good therapist?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I got a therapist. I'm like.
But
I'm dropping the plug. I'm like,
but here's the thing, though, about my therapist. She just sort of semi-retired and went to web therapy.
No, fuck that shit. I got you. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna give you. I got the hookup.
So because I tried it once. And I was like, I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was in my bed and like, and I was like, this is weird. I find myself checking emails and shit. And I was like, oh, I should have sat on my couch. I should have put the computer on the table, sat on my couch and just looked at it like that. And like I was there. I might try it one more time that way to see. But there was there's something for me to go to therapy. I like going to therapy.
Yeah, you got to go. Like part of it's like if you enter states where you're kind of like in a lull, you need to leave the house.
Yeah,
you want to get out. It's like part of it's just like seeing another person.
And it's this person that you trust, and they know everything about you if you've been going for like, because I've been going to this lady for like over a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, like, oh, I can't wait to go talk to a doctor about this thing that happened. You know what I mean? I even talked to her about material. I would even be like, I'm trying to talk about these things, and it's just like I don't know where it's to find out where it's coming from, why I'm talking about it.
Yes.
They're just dealing with my mom and dealing with with the breakup and and then like just the stuff I had with family. It's just I've been dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah,
and it's just like it really is like you go, oh, there's this person. The best part about it is here's somebody that I don't have to listen to them.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna feel bad that
I'm not. That's the best. Nothing about her.
Yeah, and they're not gonna feel bad that I'm not like. So is everything okay with you? Are you doing okay? They're not gonna be like, oh, it's all about you again. You know what I mean? So it's like like I don't understand how people fall in love with their therapist.
Yeah.
Because why would you ruin that perfect relationship?
Where you just get to talk.
Yeah.
The second you fall in love, you got to hear her shit.
Yeah, I got to hear like, you have okay, yeah. Tell me about your day.
Your therapist a woman?
Yeah.
Would you see a man therapist?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I just preferred that, like, I'm a mama's boy, I guess. That's probably part of it.
I've seen both, and I can't quite pin.
You can't pin, yeah.
What or why I'm more comfortable with. Yeah, I can't.
Who are you more comfortable? You more comfortable with a guy?
I can't tell. It's because
that might be the Muslim kicking in right there.
I only get advice from men.
Yeah.
No, there was something about. There was one therapist I saw who I kind of felt like.
Oh, you've seen more than one.
Yeah, I've bounced around. I've like tested it out. Yeah,
I like
that.
I've
like done a little bit like who's the
little taste test
jam. Yeah, I had seen
speed dating.
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? Because it's like they're not. Some of them are bad.
Yeah,
I mean it's like comedy or anything. It's like you're like,
for
oh,
real.
this person's like, yeah.
No. I know what you're saying because for me, the reason why I stayed with the one, I'll just tell you real quick before you tell me this, is that because I started telling her about my life, and she said, "Oh, you have an exaggerated sense of responsibility."
Yeah, and you're like, okay, she gets me.
I was like,
okay.
I just sat down in the chair, like, tell me more about me.
Yeah.
So what happened now?
No, I mean, I saw one who it was just like some weird energy was going on between us.
Oh.
I was kind of like, she would like say stuff like, "You're looking very handsome today," or something like that, and I was like,
I'm out.
I was like, "What's going on here? What's happening here?" And then there was another one I saw who was good, but she like moved, and I saw this dude who was actually really cool because we like got each other on like dude stuff, and then now I'm with someone. So I just tested out like a couple, and then I found someone now, and she's like really cool.
That's maybe I should have done that. Maybe I didn't. But
bro, get back. Hey man, I know your therapist went to the web, but there are more fish in the sea, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
Get out there.
The only problem with it is like starting over.
I know, but
starting over.
I know.
I've unpacked so much shit, and I feel like I have to I'd be like, okay, let me catch you up. You know what I mean? This is
okay. 3rd grade.
I know.
And then high school.
This is why I feel this way because of this happened. You know what I mean? What are you supposed to what am I supposed to do?
No, I think you just start with where you're at today, and like a good one will kind of know what she needs to know from before.
Oh, right. Or maybe I'll get notes from the other one. I'll be like, hey, can you pass on?
Transfer my file?
But it would be great to like be in the office as they're looking at your file, and they're just kind of like, yeah. They just say things like, oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's also like what you would share about yourself today versus what you would share about yourself 2 years ago. It's just different things.
That's true.
Because you're a different person.
I feel like I have like a therapy, like, there's a a way of being in there now. So now I know, I'm just like, okay, all right, boom, this is, I'm going to talk. Okay, what do you think of that? So you have like what I loved, one of my favorite things is talking to someone, having a very high level intellectual conversation with someone.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
Like really like talking about like the whys and where and like, why do I think this way? And like, it's actually your last joke in your special is one of those things.
Right.
That's the kind of conversation.
Breaking down the why. Yeah.
That's the kind of conversation you would have with somebody that has to be on a high level. Because if not, they're going to take it the wrong way, or they're going to be like, they're going in their feelings, or they're going to be like, what are you saying? They're going to judge you. No, it's like when you can take a thing, say something, and then actually intellectualize it, and then discuss it, and then scrap all that and just deal. Because that's what I say you do with comedy too. To me, I think a good tip for comedy is intellectualize why this is funny, why you thought about this, where did you come up with this, like where's it going, who's the real subject of this. Intellectualize the whole thing, and then once you understand it, it's in your subconscious, then you forget about all that bullshit, and then you just do it, because now you're going to be raw and coming from that real authentic place.
Yeah, no man, it's breaking that stuff down is so fun, and I don't know how deep down the rabbit hole you've got, or how LA you've got. I don't know if you've dipped into like energy healers or anything like that.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
You don't? You fuck with crystals ever?
No, you on that crystal shit?
I'm dipping. It's so funny. It's like
you a Muslim witch now.
Oh my god! One time I met this girl who was like
a Wiccan.
I'd like tell her like she's like, you're Muslim, and she's like, oh my god, I know. It must be crazy. I know exactly what you're going through. Like, I'm a witch. I'm like, how are we? But I was like, okay, I respect it. I respect it. Sure. I mean, okay.
The things we do for women. Like the things we put up with. You're a Wiccan. Oh, that's so interesting. you go with it,
I mean, yeah.
So you into energy healing and all that kind of stuff?
I'm dipping my toe. I'm just checking it out. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm not,
This stuff reminds me of sushi.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's just like sushi. Where you like, you find the perfect sushi, you start eating different types of rolls.
Sure.
You go from the California roll to like now you got just one piece of fish on the plate, and you're like so I'm getting there because it's like therapy.
You go from
cryo
California roll to like no, I need a $20 single piece of bluefin toro. Like that is it's
I'm doing what do you call it, like taking supplements now.
Sure.
And I feel better. I'm losing weight. I'm down 4 or 5 pounds. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I feel like that's the next step, because my therapist always tells me about I need to meditate.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta do. You should try Islam, honestly. Like just pray, I'm sure you felt it when you went to Saudi. You heard that call to prayer.
Oh, that's right. We didn't talk about how I went to Saudi.
Yeah.
I did go to Saudi. It was fine. You know what I mean? Like, it just the difference between going now and going, say, 10 years ago when I went,
right?
The difference is, like, 10 years ago, they had the religious police.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do shows out in public. You had to go to consulates and, everything was underground.
Sure.
This time, they got a festival going on, and there's
did you
music
feel like
playing, and the Backstreet Boys were there.
Were you able to curse?
No. They specifically said, and it was a hard line, no sex, no religion, no politics. So I had nothing to talk about.
I mean, how do you
No, it was cool.
What did you, so what, 45 minutes, you're talking about your mom, you're talking
No,
about
I did my same material. I just took out those things.
Okay.
I just realized as I was doing the material, I was like, oh, I curse here for no reason.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I just took that out,
Yeah. I just feel like all my stuff is sexual or political.
Right,
I'm
very much.
I'm kind of like, what would I do? Because I was thinking of going, and I wanted to go. I was actually down to do the challenge. It didn't end up working out schedule-wise, but I wanted to go, and I was like, man, I don't know what I would talk about.
No, but that's the thing is, like, I think you say that.
I know, but then you like actually break it down. And you're like, oh wait, no, actually, I got it.
Because you're enjoying see, the thing is, like, we enjoy our freedom here of being able to say whatever we want. I'm talking about as a comedian, being able to go places. But once you go to a place like that, what you really realize is you don't have to.
Yeah.
And you being funny is not predicated on being like over sexual, cursing every other word. You really find you're funny. It makes you more thoughtful, in my opinion. That's what I think is going on with, like, when we lived through the Me Too movement. As male comedians, we just had to be more thoughtful. We could still be misogynistic in our jokes, but they have to. You dot your I's and cross your T's.
Have no fear.
Yeah.
You could still be misogynistic.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. But this
no, I know.
We want to thank Ramy for coming on.
I know you. No, I mean, like, obviously, I go dip into it in the special. It's like you can still, like, it's not like you have to act like you're a choir boy. Right. You can get into it, but it's like you have to address it. I mean, I think that was the whole argument too with stuff. I mean, I heard a lot of women saying, "No, I want to watch a Louis stand-up set. I just need him to talk about the thing real quick. I need him to get into it."
I don't agree with that though. But I guess, hey, if women are saying that, it's all good. Because I just feel like you can't. It would make it like you're saying it was okay. Like, just talking about it and acknowledging, hey, I did this and did that. It's almost like, okay, so now I've gotten past that. Now I'm back and I'm doing my thing. I don't know what's right or wrong in that situation.
It's hard to say.
It's hard. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's too soon.
I don't think there's an answer. I do think the thing, though, is that, like, if you are going to try and come back, I always think about it this way. We've all done stand-up in New York, and it's so loud and it's so noisy and it's so crazy. And you'll be on stage and you'll hear, like, a siren outside for a while. You're on stage and there's like a cop car out there and it won't stop. And you're on stage as a comic, you got to say something about it. You have to address it.
I get you.
Because if you don't say something about the siren, everyone's like, is he dumb? Like, there's just like this thing where it's like, oh wait, how is he not hearing what we're hearing?
It's like when you go to a play and somebody's earring falls off. And they don't do anything about it the whole fucking play.
Yeah, you're like, come on, just pick up the thing. Just pick up the thing. Pick it up. We all see it, right? Yeah. And I think that's the whole thing. It's like you get up there and it's like, okay, we know you have brilliant takes on things. And it's like, you're not going to give us a brilliant take on the siren that is your, allegate and all these things. Like, dude, this is what we want at the very least.
I could see him feeling that, well, I don't want to be disrespectful to them or, like make it, just be so, flippant about it. You know what I mean?
I wish I could say that I thought he was being that thoughtful. I think he just kind of doesn't give a fuck anymore. I don't know.
At this point, but why? But at this point, he's because if everybody tells you you're a pariah, then you just go, okay, I guess that's what I am. So let me just own it. I just think that he should call in though. Just don't pop in.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying. Just don't pop in.
Yeah.
Just say I'm going to do a show, and here's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
His fans will show up.
Yeah, people who want to show up.
Yeah, they'll show up.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that was like, imagine you're somebody you didn't know.
Yeah.
Or you were like really against, or you've had a bad experience, and then here comes this person like that, and that is getting like cheers and applause, and like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It make certain people feel a certain way. So let them look at the list and make a choice. But if you see his name on the list and you show up to the club, shut the fuck up.
If you what if he hit you up and he was like, dude, let's go on tour together. Let's go do Europe.
Oh, that would be hard. You know what I mean?
What would you do?
I don't know. It's just like, part of me is like, I don't know. That's a tough one. God damn, why would you put me on the spot like that? This piece of shit, man.
I just did a Louis drop-in on your podcast.
Yeah. He just popped in right now. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the... What if he just walked in?
He walked in.
How the fuck did you get... Ramy, get out the way. You're getting bumped.
It's just like, Eric, well, since you said no.
I know.
Ramy's coming with me.
I don't know. It's just... That would be a tough one.
Yeah.
It would be tough.
For
I'd have to think about it, right?
Yeah, anyone would think about it.
It would, because what would you do?
I wouldn't. I just because I. But
just
I would
real
be
fast. He said it too.
I would. I asked the question.
I
no,
would
no,
never.
My God, I would never. No, I would just. I mean, but that's like I would just be like, well, sorry, man, I'm just busy with season 2. You know, I would just kind of like go. It would be really tough. Like
you'd have a good excuse.
It'd be really tough. No, but it would be like if you know, because like I think you're always on series and stuff. So I think like if you were on a series, you'd be like, okay, cool, I can just say no. Like it would be like easy to be
for real.
No, because
the sucky part about it is like it's a great opportunity for a comedian. Yeah. Like, I'm a comic. He's going to have a big crowd. There's going to be interesting people in the crowd. So you're thinking of it that way. But the sucky part about it is people are going to treat you like you did what he did.
Sure.
And that's the part where you go, I don't know if I want to deal with that.
Sure. Yeah, it all gets caught up, and then it's like, am I co-sponsoring this thing? Am I sponsoring this
right,
thing?
Right.
And
it's
of course, that would never be the thing. I think we're all like, I think this, if you want to talk about, and I'm not saying it's all in the same realm, but like just the idea of the art and the artist, and like separating. I mean, obviously, like that stuff I had talked about Gerard a bunch. I mean, it's stuff we all deal with and kind of try to figure out, and we're trying to sort through. Where it's like, man, I do like the joke, or oh man, I do like the song, or oh, I do like the thing.
And separating the artist from the art. But I saw Bill Maher talking about it on his show.
What did he say?
He was just saying like, we're adults. We can separate the difference between what the artist did and what the art is.
Right.
But it's just, not everybody. That's what I'm talking about when you're having like a really high level intellectual conversation. Sure. There are some people that are hard line. There's no gray area for them. They're just they live their life black and white. It's right and there's wrong. And I'll never live like that because I know that there's nuance in the world.
Yeah. There is. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things where it's like, I mean, when it comes to him, I wish it's hard to watch if you don't address it. That's just what it comes down for me. For me, like as someone who's like a fan of comedy, a fellow comic, this and that, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna watch until.
But then again, I understand the pushback on that is that so he addresses this thing and then it makes it okay, like it's gone away now. So now I could just go ahead and be funny now that you're like, oh, okay, he got that out. So now I can. He's made it okay to laugh at him.
I don't think it ever makes it okay. I think it just makes it more real. It just feels dishonest to not talk about. Where it's like, well, the whole point of comedy is truth. I'm not going to comedy to get a saint, right? I'm not going to comedy. Comedy is not church. We're pieces of shit. Baseline, we're pieces of shit. The guy you think isn't is. Right. You are, I am, we all know this. Exactly. So we're pieces of shit. Yeah. And I love that phrase, by the way. We are pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm coming to you for is not a sermon, is not to be on the right side of things. I'm coming to you for the truth. Yeah. And so when your bit is genius level truth takes, but then you are completely ignoring this other truth, I'm like, well, this isn't...
Or avoiding it.
Yeah, I'm like, now I'm not
because maybe his truth is something that people wouldn't want to hear.
Sure, but say it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and maybe he is. Though. Maybe he is at these shows because now no one's recording these shows.
That's true.
But I think when he first came out, his only take was like, I lost a lot of money doing the thing, and it's kind of like, well, that's not what I want to. That's not what I'm here to hear.
Yeah. But we are like, oh god, like I just had a situation yesterday. Talk about being a piece of shit. You get on Tinder. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people on their Tinder they put like, oh, this is my Instagram.
Yeah.
So like this girl, she was young, 20 or something. You know what I mean? And she's like, so I see her Instagram, and she's like, I'm an artist. Hit me up if you're serious about buying my art. So I go to her Instagram. She's dope, but the art's dope. You know what I mean? So I, hey, you're dope. Send her a message. You start talking back and forth. Then I go too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I own it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even ashamed of it. It's like I just I took a shot. You know what I mean? Just being like whatever. And then it was like but then it turned into a thing. You do all comedians make women uncomfortable like this? Yeah. And I was like, oh fuck! Like in the middle of it, I was like, oh fuck! And this went to a place.
It's a bad flirt.
I know. I was like, but you know what it was? It was like because the lesson I learned is like you got to get a swipe back because that says. I'm okay with talking to you. I jumped in the water cold.
Yeah.
It's some older guy, you know what I mean? Like, it was like so then she's mad at me and she's going in on me, and then she blocks me, and then her friend hits me up. You creep, bozo. She called me a bozo, and like, you know, but it was like, oh, and you think people are gonna
You're like, hey, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not a bozo.
I was like, hey, you could, you know, but I was nice. I really, because I was like, I get this. I get that women are uncomfortable and men make women uncomfortable all the time, especially young women, and then they have no nuance in the world. Everything's black and white for them. Yeah. They can't even they can't even intellectualize anything. They're just so fucking stupid. You know what I mean? When you're young people, you know what I mean? It's like you're intellectually dumb. You know what I mean? But it's not their fault. It's they're learning how to like live in the world and all this kind of stuff. You know, so I had to be like, hey, you know, sorry, I made you uncomfortable. And then it's like the girl put the conversation on the internet, you know what I mean?
Oh, she did?
Yeah, man. And, you know, I was like, oh, fuck. You know, my stupid pickup lines look really dumb, you know, and then she's like, and then she won't let it go. You know, she's like, you know, you made me uncomfortable. You know, and I was like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. She was like, you know, it's not my fault that I was uncomfortable. I was like, okay, I said.
So I'm sorry.
So at a certain point you go, hey, I apologize. I owned that I was inappropriate. So now fuck off.
I'd love to see you do a bit about this.
You know what I mean?
Are you talking about this on stage?
I haven't. It just happened yesterday.
Oh, it did?
I will though.
It's interesting.
Because at a certain point, I'm just like, hey, I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I acknowledge it. Look, I'm talking about it on my podcast.
Well, that's,
I'm saying, like, you know,
that's exactly my point. Like, seeing you break down that interaction would just be really interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have had that interaction.
They have,
and I think that's again, like, that's kind of the with the Louis shit. Look, dude, it's not. I'm not trying to kick someone while they're down or whatever.
Right,
you know,
right.
And a lot of people in that situation are down. Like, it's not a good, you know, whatever. But like, it's all about just like, give us a breakdown of the thing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna get on stage, just give us a breakdown, because that'd be interesting to hear. That's all I want. Like,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but just prepare yourself that the breakdown could be, the thought could be from him, and I'm not saying that this is what it is.
Yeah,
but there is a world where the thought was like, I didn't think it was that bad.
Sure. I mean, I get that.
And that's just such a, and that's such a, you know, that's such a place to live, that there are people that are like, oh,
yeah,
this, you don't understand, you know, the powerless feeling. And then you go down that rabbit hole, and it's honest. How people react to that is honest. And I'm just saying, he may not want to deal with that.
I get it.
And that's why I'm saying it's like, if you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, people's feelings are valid. Mm-hmm. You know, so like this young girl who feels like, you know, she's beautiful. She's got bikini pics on her Instagram, and she just, you know, it's okay to be. I just want to be young and sexy. It doesn't mean that I want some old creep fucking trying to fuck me or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it. I'm like, my bad. You know what I mean? I lost myself for a second. Yeah. I'm owning it, and I'm just I'm moving past it. You know what I mean? But it's like, you go, lesson learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, because, you know, it's hard for guys to really understand that female perspective. Like,
it is, and
I mean?
we're never really gonna get it.
We're never gonna get it.
That's why it's like, you wanna, you know, like, I think our responsibilities start to be like, as this stuff is happening, where it's like, okay, you have a thing happen, I have a thing happen. My job is to like thoughtfully and, like you were saying before, vulnerably, like, talk about this thing, right? Because that's like, it's tough to like police people. Like you don't want to police. Obviously, men don't want to police women. I'm not going to police other men and be like, yo, bro, Louis, go do this thing or go do whatever. Like,
right.
That's not like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah,
who the fuck am I to tell him what? It's like, give me like, I'm a fucking punk ass like piece of shit. Like, to go tell him, hey man, you should really like whatever. But the only responsibility we have is to, like, in our own work, be as vulnerable as we can. And like, if we are in the room with someone, to kind of be like, at least encourage and be like, hey dude, like, as guys to guys, like, hey dude, maybe try and take it this way, you know. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna tell you how to do your thing or how to live your life. But like, we were all fucking trying.
But I remember I was talking to a buddy of mine. We're in the hallway when Me Too just started, and it was heavy, and it was like Weinstein. You know, everybody was like, "Oh shit!"
It's over now, though, right? They got
No,
everybody.
I don't think so. They're gonna find a few. So
there was like a moment,
gonna find me.
There was a moment like a month ago. I was talking to someone. I was like, "Hey man, there hasn't been one lately. Do we get everyone? I haven't seen one in a bit. Like,
that's just gonna spark them up. You need to go back on the hunt. But this is one buddy of mine. He they're in a group of guys talking about it, and he says, you know, I've never crossed the line, but I've been right up to it. And I said to him, I said, hey man, don't ever say that out loud again. because that's such a guy perspective to think that like, listen, if you're at the border of anywhere, you're in a shitty part of town. Okay, just so you know. You know what I mean? So like you were there, so it's cool. Like, but that's like what I'm saying is like, it's hard as a guy to understand. So, and then, it's just like the nuance of flirting and like, what people want to hear. It's like, I'm awkward and weird. And like, and like, here's the thing too, is like one thing that would work with where one girl would clearly see I'm saying things that are a joke.
Sure.
And I know this rapport is happening. And she's like, you're so stupid. You're funny. And it's like that kind of flirting. Another one might be like, do you think these kind of things work with women? And blah, blah, blah. And it was all this, that kind of vibe. So I was like, ooh, lesson learned. But I'm not going to necessarily change myself. But you just have to change like how you go about things. Like this was, again, I freely acknowledge, like I dipped into a pool that was cold as fuck.
Yeah, but it's also important. It's important to like also it puts precedence on like in-person interactions, because so much gets lost online.
Oh my God, I know, lost in translation, man.
I also still think just the best way to meet people is like through friends and through I want to know the network.
Listen, I'm not upset with people that still want to meet. My thing is this though. Get off of it immediately.
Get off as soon as you can, and and then like meet at a public place and have a conversation.
Actually, FaceTime.
FaceTime's good too. Actually.
FaceTime is like it opens up. You hear someone's voice, you see how they're talking.
Yep.
You really get a sense. Sometimes you get a sense like I don't vibe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we do suggest that, but listen, man.
We're big sponsors of FaceTime here.
I know we're FaceTime. I feel like we could talk forever. I just want to tell you, I know you're a busy dude, and because now he's even got an assistant. By the way, the first time I talked to this motherfucker was today when he was like, "Hey, dude, I'm 15 minutes away." Dude. But up till then, it's like I'm dealing with his assistant.
Bro, hey, listen. That's
you bougie motherfucker, man.
I was so funny too because I was emailing her. She was like, "You have this thing tomorrow with Eric," and I was like, "Oh man, I should have just been," because it was like so many things came in at once for the thing. But I was like, "No, I could have just texted Eric." So I actually do owe you an apology for that.
Yeah, man.
That is messed up. It is messed up.
But by the way, from doing this as long as I've been doing it now, that this will be like episode 39. I think it's going to be. I get it. People are busy, and I know when as soon as you send me to the assistant, that meant that you're actually going to show up.
It's like I want to do it. That's literally what it is. So it's literally like.
So I'm fine with it.
It's literally like no, dude. I want to be here. No,
I'm fine with it. Anytime I get pushed off on an assistant or a publicist, I know that they're trying to schedule.
It's like I actually want to do it.
Yes. So don't no apologies needed. I totally appreciate that. But I want to say again,
dumbass move. I'm still.
It was a punk move.
I'm still a punk piece of shit.
Your number.
I'm still a punk piece of shit. Well, that was. I mean, dude. Yeah, that's a whole other story. The number change. No, that it's not even. It's like that, but it's also like some people got my number that shouldn't have had it. And it became like a thing, and not everything I say is loved by all. So it was like kind of became one of those.
Well,
things.
yeah, I get it.
So but
that's why you have to watch Feelings on HBO.
All that being said, I'm still a punk ass bitch, and so I apologize.
No, but I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming, and I just want to say again, your show is fantastic. It really is, and I really hope you get an Emmy nomination for all of it. I hope you get an Emmy nomination for writing, directing, and acting.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because I thought you did a fantastic job. But I read an article where they were like, "Why Ramy needs a Emmy nomination?" So it's there. The special's good. If you really want to see some vulnerable feelings, because that's the name of it, you're gonna see it in this. You know what I mean? So make sure you watch that. That's on HBO. Ramy's on Hulu, and you could probably you do stand up, right? You're around town.
I'm trying to get up a bit this summer. Yeah,
don't forget where you came from.
I know. I'm trying to get the show back up, and then but I'll be.
I get it though. I get it. It's busy. Don't let Gerard Carmichael make you hate stand up. Okay.
No. I love
Fuck him. He's he's so anti stand up. You know what I mean? So don't let him. I love him though. He's I know, right? Yeah, but he's the type that'll be like, we're gonna take your special. Let's do it underwater. He's always trying to find a way to do it differently. You know what I mean? I'm thinking a submarine.
If he pitches you the underwater thing, you should do it with him.
I get him now. Just last thing he said to me one time, I said, I wanted him to direct my special. I said, how about you do, but he doesn't fuck with people over 30. If you over 30, Gerard Carmichael don't fuck with you. So he said, I feel like I would want to have, this is exactly what he said. I'd want to have some fat black women on the side in the crowd. And during your set, they go, mm-mm. And then I have to interact with them. And when he first said that, I thought he was fucking crazy. I get it now. I actually think that would be hilarious for me to say something off kilter and have an honest reaction from a group of black women going like, this boy crazy. You know what I mean? And then they'd be like, why am I crazy? And then like, imagine how raw and vulnerable that would be. I mean, the guy's brilliant, man. You know what I mean? He just sees the world in a different way, man. You know, he's like Neo, and he sees the the Matrix, and I just like that fucker. But anyway, I'm gonna have him on too, but if he's not too busy, when his publicist hits me up, I'll know it's real.
Did he send you to his assistant?
No, not yet. No, he just won't respond. You know, even though we go out and I told him we're family, you could just say no. Just say no. But he's still trying to Hollywood me. I fucking punch him in his face. But Ramy Youssef, fantastic special, fantastic show. And I thank you for coming on. And, let's do it again after season 2 comes out.
I would love that.
Yeah, let's do it again, season 2. And again, because we'll talk more basketball. A good, this new Clipper fan over here. Are you went to the Lakers?
Well, I'm with the Lakers right now. I think between now and the next time I'm on the show, I probably will have.
You'll be with the Nets because Kevin Durant will be back.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Which makes sense because that's where you're from.
Yeah, I'm gonna play through a lot of different teams, and I'll get various jerseys and hats and socks and team socks is when you know someone's really there.
Well, we'll go to the game together one time.
Oh, please! I would love that. I would love that.
All right, all right. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. Make sure you subscribe. I'll have all of his information in the description. I'll have all the usual stuff. Like, share, and I appreciate all that stuff. And remember, if you want to send me the fan art, look at this great new fan art I got here. This is great. It lights up. I didn't light it up, and he sent me this stuff too. This is for my gaming thing, for Griffin Gaming, and I got great cards. I'm gonna get some shelves. You guys have been, you're seeing the growth, and look at the fantastic guests I'm getting. And thanks again for watching Riffin with Griffin, and I'll see you next week.